Miss Olivia let time get away from her this week, so we sent her on vacation to catch up on her reading so she can recommend some great books to you in the future. Will she read them all, or will she take a nap? Who's to say? This week we're handing over What's New in the Children's Room to Miss Ashley so she can give you some awesome recommendations. Take it away, Miss Ashley.
Hi friends, Miss Ashley here. I'm going to give you a couple recommendations for some things that are new to our collection that I give 2 thumbs up, seal of approval. I highly recommend them. Let's start with, well, the first one's actually 2 things, but I'm counting it as 1 thing. It's a new series for our beginner reader section, and it is called Nick and Knack. Nick is the boy, and Knack is the robot. You can see Knack has go-go gadget legs in this book. Knack is short, and in this book, Knack is tall. And these books are from Highlights. You might know Highlights magazine, which is a really cool thing to check out and read. It's a new series by Brandon Budsey, and the art is by Adam Record. So I like these a lot because, first of all, they're just a great beginning reader. There's a lot of word repetition. There are a lot of clues in the pictures to help you figure out what you're reading about. They follow a very similar structure for those beginning readers that you need to help you understand the narrative. And they're also just really fun because they come with like a craft that you could do at the end that ties into the story, because that's what Nick and Knack love to do, is they love to come up with ideas and make cool things. And if you like I Spy or Hidden Pictures, there's those games in these books too. So they're just a lot of fun to spend time with, and I think it's going to be a really popular new series. So in Nick and Knack Fly a Kite, it's a super windy day, and they decide making a kite would be a great idea. They find all the materials, and guess what? When they want to go fly it, it's not windy anymore. It started raining. Wah, wah. But you can make materials, get your materials and make your own kite, because they give you instructions at the end about how to do that. And in Nick and Knack Build a Birdhouse, I bet you can guess what they do. They build a birdhouse. They build it with popsicle sticks. So first they eat a lot of popsicles, and that's pretty fun. And then they make a birdhouse. And just like the other book, at the end are some instructions for how you can make a birdhouse with popsicle sticks. So if you are kindergarten, first grader, you're learning how to read, you want something cool to try, you like building things, you like fun ideas, you like fun friendships, I think you would really like that series. Next, I'm going to recommend a picture book. This is a really touching, loving, moving story called The Suitcase, and it is both written and illustrated by Chris Naylor Ballesteros. The artwork is really gorgeous. It's all in these colors, and it's done in watercolor and ink. And it's a story that starts off a little melancholy. We have someone that's new arriving in town and bringing with it this suitcase. And the people that already live in this town are thinking to themselves, what's in this suitcase? And the newcomer explains that inside the suitcase is a teacup and a house, and they're very curious about this. How could you have a house in your suitcase? And the newcomer's so tired that it takes a nap, and while it's sleeping, the other characters decide, we just really need to know what's in this suitcase. We can't handle the suspense. I don't know, should we open it, should we not? They do, and what they discover is a broken teacup and a picture of where the newcomer has come from. And so what we learn is that this is really a refugee story, and it's about someone who has had to leave home with all they could fit in a suitcase, and mostly what it is memories. And so it's a really, I'm not going to give away the ending, but it's very sweet what these 3 new friends do to help make the newcomer feel really welcome and at home in this new place where the newcomer doesn't have anything besides what's in its suitcase. So if you like stories with a lot of heart, if you like stories that are simple but also a great jumping off point for conversations about all kinds of topics, and really stories that have a lot of lessons about kindness and how to be a good neighbor and a good friend, I think you would really like this suitcase. The last book I'm going to recommend today is called 13 Stories About Harris, and it is written and illustrated by Amy Schwartz. So just like the title says, this picture book, it's not a big long chapter book, it's a picture book, but it has 13 stories in it. Some of them are pretty short, and they're all about our little friend Harris. And Harris is probably about 3 or 4 years old, and it's all about the adventures that he has in his city neighborhood with his family and with his best friend. Some of the stories are a little bit on the longer side, maybe 3 or 4 pages, like this story about where Harris is drawing with chalk and he makes the dinosaur's tail so long that it goes around the whole block. And other stories are pretty short, like this story is only 1 page long, where Harris was standing on his truck, but he wasn't supposed to, when he fell down and started crying. Harris has some fun adventures. He goes to his first ever birthday party at his best friend's house. Her name is Ayana, and he gets to have cake and sing happy birthday. What else does Harris do? He pretends he's a truck the whole time he's at Thanksgiving dinner, because that's a super fun thing to do when you're 3 or 4. And he has fun pretending that he's a giant worm when he plays with his friend Ayana, and they play with pillowcases. And by the end of the book, in the last story, one of the last stories, he and his best friend are starting preschool together. It's just, the pictures are so charming. It's really funny. If you are a 3 or 4 year old, or if you have a 3 or 4 year old, or if you've ever known a 3 or 4 year old, or ever been a 3 or 4 year old, I bet you would love this book, because it really captures all the things that might happen when you're that age, all the adventures you have, all the silly things you do. Sometimes you get hurt, but you have an awesome family that loves you, and you have great friends, and you're going to go to preschool and become an amazing kid. So I love this book a lot. I think you will too. Check it out next time you come in for a browsing appointment, or place a hold and you can come pick it up at your hold appointment. It's called 13 Stories About Harris.
Olivia, wake up. It's time to come back to work.